Hey, friend, Sean from Draft Therapy here, and on today's review for you, it's the barrel-aged return of an arch enemy. Barrel-Aged Nemesis is a 14.2% barrel-aged barley wine from Founders Brewing Company in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Nemesis was originally released just about a year ago, probably more like 10 months ago, and today I'm looking at the barrel-aged version, only this time you won't find it on store shelves, and that's because, as you can see, it's part of the Mothership Series. Now, if you're not familiar with what the Mothership Series is, it's a series that's only available from Founders taprooms, either in Detroit or Grand Rapids. So I have to give a really big shout out to viewer Brett Hebel for hooking me up with this beer, because if he didn't give it to me, I wouldn't have had it. So let's take a look at the specifics and we'll get it into a glass. But first, I'd like to thank my executive producers, Brian Kramer, David Jeffries, Vinny Cat, and Cam Freeman for helping to bring this review to you today. If you'd like to become a producer, help out the channel, or maybe just throw me a couple bucks to buy me a beer, take a look at my Patreon at patreon.drafttherapy.com, where you can get early access to these videos and a few other special perks that are available only to patrons. So let's start with the label. As I said we would. If you've seen one Mothership Series release, you've seen them all. Basically, on the top, we have Founders. It has the UFO, the mothership, so to speak, shooting down a ray into the Founders Brewing Company taproom. This is the Grand Rapids location. It says Mothership Series. And on the right-hand side, it says Barrel-Aged Nemesis. Then it tells you Founders Brewing Company in Grand Rapids, Michigan, 49503. All these labels are the same. The only thing that changes is the Barrel-Aged Nemesis. Where that is, that changes. So on the back, we turn it around. It says Founders Mothership Series. You are holding in your hand an ultra-limited brew team favorite beer only found at our taproom locations. Whether it's an old standby we brought out of retirement or an experimental new style, it's sure to go quickly. Brewed for a chosen few, and you're lucky enough to be one of them. Underneath that, this tells us it was bottled on January 20th, 2022. This is 14.2% alcohol by volume, which I mentioned all in the intro. So I'm going to grab a snifter style glass here. Founders Gold cap. Once reserved for barrel-aged releases, the Barrel-Aged Series releases. I don't think this is technically part of that series, but let's go ahead and put a nose on it. I'm getting bourbon barrel characteristic right out of the bottle. Has a little bit of a sweetness backing it up. Let's go ahead and pour it. It's coming out really kind of clear, which I think is how Nemesis was too, which was part of the Bottle Shop series, which is different in some way. What way, I don't know. If we look at it, getting about a finger of head, it's just slightly off-white. It's more of like a tan color, like a really light tan. Really nice, compact bubbles across on the top that you can see from the overhead. The bubbles are larger, but across the cross-section, the side of the glass, it's totally just really nice, compact, foamy style head. If we hold it up to the light here, while it poured pretty transparent, this is pretty dark. Like I'm not seeing anything through it on the bottom, the bulb of the glass. As I mentioned, sometimes on these kind of beers, when I use this kind of glass, I generally talk about the bulb. It has a light, like a light brown color to it, like almost like a khaki color to it. Let's get a nose on the glass here. Yeah, again, getting bourbon, getting like a spicy kind of a roasty barley, spicy kind of note in there too. Not really able to pick up what kind of spicy I'm talking about, but it's not like a jalapeno spicy. It's just kind of like a, I don't know, like a holiday spice kind of spicy. All right, let's go ahead and try this one out. Cheers. So as we talk about the mouthfeel first, always, it's leaning actually a little bit towards the heavy side. I was gonna at first say medium, but it's like light heavy. So it's not super thick, not super syrupy. It's not super therapy. It's not super syrupy, but it's like, it does have a heaviness to it. It's definitely not crisp. It's not light. It's not like IPA territory. It's not even like super puffy New England style IPA territory. It's definitely like a heavy light, if that's a thing. So we talk about the flavor. It's got big time It's got big time boozy characteristic. That's really like what I'm picking up throughout. It's like this booziness that kind of lays on top of all the flavor. There is like I said, I was picking up like a spicy note on the nose, but I'm also picking it up on the flavor itself. It's almost like a gin type spiciness, like a sprucey spiciness. I feel like the barrel characteristics that you're getting in there, I don't know exactly what barrel, like what, if it's bourbon barrel aged. I think it's bourbon barrel aged. I'm picking up, it feels like I'm getting like a boozy, I mean, I'm definitely getting a boozy characteristic, but I feel like it's bourbon, but that sprucey kind of note to it almost makes me think that maybe it was gin. But I mean, there's nothing, I didn't research this beforehand to know what kind of barrels they said they put it in, but I'm just going to guess that with Founders, it's going to be bourbon. I don't remember the last time I've seen them do tequila barrel aged stuff. I've seen them do some, rum barrel aged stuff. I don't think they've ever done a gin, but correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. It's just got a really overwhelming kind of boozy characteristic. Now, as actually, I'm kind of opening up a little bit more to it. My taste buds are kind of opening up a little bit more to it. I'm not only just picking up that really strong boozy characteristic. I feel like when I first draw it in, I'm getting a little bit of that Nemesis barley wine kind of roasty, almost like a black IPA kind of flavor in there a little bit, but I don't really know if there's like a bitterness or a hoppiness that I'm really picking up. It's got a little bit of a roasty characteristic, a roasted barley kind of characteristic, but not, I just feel like that booziness is so overpowering to it that it's really hard to pick up anything underneath. If you are like, a boozy beer fan, this is definitely one that, that you'd want to pick up, or one that you'd go for, or something you'd be happy with. I'm just not really able to get much past that block. Like I said, my taste buds were kind of opening up to it, but I feel like just as quickly as they were opening up, it's being taken away. Like, it's really hard to decipher flavors beyond that booziness. I guess I am picking up a little bit on a tiny bit on a hoppiness, but I'm just not really able to put my finger on what the underlying flavors are, because the booziness is just so strong. You're getting the kind of that spruciness, that spicy kind of note that goes along with that. It's just really interesting. Like, I don't know if this is something that I would necessarily recommend. I mean, this is definitely like a one and done. This is at 14.2%. I don't think that you're probably gonna go for a couple of these in a night, maybe two. Like, if you're really kind of like, I'm only gonna drink 2 beers tonight and it's a Friday, or I don't have to work tomorrow, or it's my weekend, or it's a long weekend, or it's a special celebration, maybe I'd go into it. But I don't think I would drink more than 2 even on an occasion like that, unless I just really wanted to not remember anything. Like, if I'm going through a hard time, I might drink 3, but and you're gonna be feeling good after 1. So I feel like I'm already starting to kind of feel it as it is, and I've only drank, a third of it, if that. I'm just not really able to pick up anything besides that kind of spruciness, that booziness, that I just feel like this, actually, there's a bit of a sweetness that comes through afterwards. It kind of presents itself a little bit creamy. It's a heavier kind of creamy mouthfeel now, but it's very complex. There's a lot of flavors going on. I feel like that booziness is really there. You're getting that spruciness. It really does remind me quite a bit of Nemesis, which I feel like to me was kind of a little bit perplexing. It was hard for me to really put a finger on what exactly Nemesis was, or what it was like trying to go for. It was like an arch enemy for my taste buds, as I mentioned before. I guess my final conclusion is, if you liked Nemesis, but you wanted it to be a little bit harder hitting, I want to say it was probably like 11% or 11.2%. It was like 3% under what this is. I think it was actually on the dot, 3% lower than what this is. I think that you're probably going to like this one too. But for me, it's just a little bit too boozy. I think if I had my pick between this and regular Nemesis, I'd probably want to go back towards regular Nemesis. The barley wine really presents itself as being very, like I said, it's just got this kind of little, just subdued maltiness, a little bit of a subdued roasty kind of barley kind of flavor in there, but I feel like that booziness just kind of, as I mentioned, like in the first sip. So you could have went back to the first sip and skipped all this stuff, and I would have just told you it's really kind of boozy, and it's laying on top of everything else. It mutes all the other flavors. It does come through as sharp and spicy, but this one has me stumped. Like I said, if you liked regular Nemesis, you're gonna love Barrel-Aged Nemesis. But for me, it's too much. Like it's just sensory overload. There's just too many things going on. For me personally, I don't know if I would pick this one up. I'm glad that Brett was able to pick this one up for me. I just feel like it's just a little bit over my head at this point. All right, friends, that has been Barrel-Aged Nemesis from Founders Brewing. Have you had this beer? Do you have a favorite barley wine or maybe a favorite Mothership release? Let me know in the comments down below. While you're down there, if you like beer, you might want to subscribe and click that bell. I'm here talking about beer twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's all for free for viewers just like you, and you might miss your newest favorite, or you might avoid a clunker, or maybe a beer that you're totally not interested in because you weren't subscribed and getting those notifications. So until next time, I'm Sean from Draft Therapy. Thanks for stopping by. Remember, drink craft beer, support your local breweries, and most importantly, don't forget to treat yourself to a little Draft Therapy. Thank you so much to Brett Hebel for passing this one along to me. While it might not have been my bag, I do enjoy trying different beers, pushing myself outside my comfort zone, and viewers like you guys are the ones that help me do it. So again, until next time, thanks for watching. Cheers, everybody.